In the case of amines, what all things we need to check it? First of all, the position. If you have nitrogen has two hydrogens, one alkyl group, you call it as primary amine. If it has two alkyl groups here, we call it as secondary amine. If it has three, we call it as tertiary. If it has four, usually it will exist like a salt, and we call it as 4 degree or quaternary ammonium salt. IUPAC always end with alkyl and end with suffix amine. Okay, so this would be methane amine. So this will become methanamine. So if you have two of them, now connection is with N here. So we represent that as N-methyl methanamine. Okay. Same way here, first check out for the longest chain with the amine. So here this side we have 1, 2, 3, and on the second position I have methyl, and on N position I have CH3 and C2H5. So you can see N comma 2 dimethyl and N ethyl propanamine. Okay, okay. By alphabetically this should come first, then this. Okay. So N methyl, N ethyl, N comma 2 dimethyl propanamine. That should be the case. So any given amines, I think you should just recall what is the IUPAC. In NCRT, some in-text questions are given on IUPAC. Just follow that. That should be sufficient. Okay. Next, when it comes to aryl groups, the common name for benzene amine or aminobenzene is aniline. Okay. NCRT uses benzene amine, so please use this rather than aminobenzene. Okay. Next, if in case if we have a methyl group substituted on that, so it is a combination of toluene and aniline, so it is toluidine. We call it as toluidine. IUPAC wise, we write it as 2-methyl aniline. Write it as 2-methyl aniline. Okay. Now, if you have two NH2 groups, we can write it as benzene 1,2-diamine, accepted IUPAC, or it can also be written as orthophenylene diamine. Okay, so we can write it as phenylene diamine. Next, in here you can write the common name as benzylamine. You know that this NH2 is at the benzyl position. Okay, or the IUPAC name for this is, first it is substituted on methyl, a phenyl group is substituted, so we will write this as phenyl and methanamine. So that is the name. Now these are the names which you must remember, but I would suggest not now, not like you have to remember this week or like that, but keep all these names. I will write what is important for now, and otherwise by the end of the year, or rather by the before JEE mains, on at least just one day before JEE mains, please go through the names of all of this. Yeah. Okay, first of all, this is a plain IUPAC name. Let me finish that. We have N comma N dimethyl group here, and on the second position from here 1 and 2 we also have a methyl, so N comma 2 trimethyl aniline. These are all the heterocyclic molecules here of nitrogen, and all of them have different common names. First, this cyclopropane, heterocyclopropane, is aziridine. I would suggest you better remember this right from now itself. Okay, if you can write somewhere, if you can put some sticky notes, make sure you remember what is aziridine. Okay, this is not asked so much, but it is better to have it on the list. Azitidine, that is aziridine, this is azitidine, right? This come from pyrrole. If there was a double bond here, that would have been pyrrole. And since there is no double bond here, when there is no aromatic nature, we take that as a reference and just put dine, that's all. So it will become pyrrolidine. Only one L, sorry. Pyrrolidine. It is pyrrolidine. Same way, here it comes from the reference of what do you say, piperidine, right? So piperidine, this is piperidine, okay, because it is coming from that pyridine kind. Yeah. Next one, this you know that this is pyrrole and this is pyridine, right? Now this is like a pyrrole with one carbon changed with nitrogen. This is imidazole. Very important till you complete biomolecule. So this is one thing you should remember, new one, but it is very useful. Okay. Next, you can see that this has ethylene, three groups with two nitrogens connected on the bridge. I can call this as diazo bicyclo, and totally if you give the numbering it will appear like octane, and industrial name is DABCO, DABCO, diazo bicyclooctane. Okay, not very important right now, like I said at the end, during before the mains, just remember that. Next we have quinoline. This is quinoline. We have come across quinoline before also, remember that. This one also we have come across that before, which is quinacridine, quinacridine. Alright. So out of this, as of now, most useful would be 1, 2 or one more here, piperidine. Okay, these four are very important: aziridine, piperidine, imidazole and quinoline, because they would be a part of amino acids. So these are few IUPAC names and common names which we must go through in amines. Next, the other type of question from amines which you can expect is the isomeric amines. Okay, let me show you what are the common mistakes. C4H11N, when you write it down, so we will have 1, 2. I have written all the possibilities: primary, primary. So there are 4 primary possibilities, there are 3 secondary possibilities and 1 tertiary possibility. Now if you were asked what are the total number of isomeric forms, if you see this one, this does not have any chiral center, these three doesn't have any chiral center, neither this has any chiral center, only this has a chiral center. So here there will be 2 molecules. Now we have seen that nitrogen with lone pair hydrogen and 2 different R groups, that can be a chiral center also, but problem is this would always have an inversion, umbrella inversion happening, right? And it will exist like a mixture, and we cannot separate this mixture. Since we cannot separate this mixture, we can't write it as two different molecules of enantiomers. Okay, so we can only differentiate as an isomer if we can separate the enantiomers. Okay, so do not count this as 2. Okay, do not count this as 2, take it as only 1. Same is the case here also, take it as only 1. So 1 is here, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So total 9, including stereo. So including stereo we have 9 isomers. So I guess this point is clear, everyone. Right. Similarly, if benzenoid forms are asked, okay, the isomeric cases, if benzenoid forms are asked, usually they will give you this way: C7H9N, which means out of this C6H5 will be of the benzene only, the rest of the part you have to rearrange. So which means there is one methyl, because there is one extra carbon, means one methyl and NH2, these two you have to arrange. So what are the possibilities? I can put NH3 here, CH3 here, ortho position or orthotoluidine, NH2, sorry, and CH3 here, para also, NH2, CH3, or benzyl also, right? These are the forms. Got it? Other than that, I can also have secondary. This one will be secondary. Got it? So now how many will have? Total 5 isomers included. Okay. So I hope you won't be able to, you should not make any mistakes in the isomeric forms now. Okay. Okay. That's about the introduction of amines. Let us see how we can prepare the amines from various sources. So starting with first simple alkyl halides. Simple alkyl halides, in case if we have directly NH2 minus been added, okay, so NH2 minus is a very strong base, usually goes for elimination only, okay, most of the time it will go for elimination. But if this R is very small, alkenes are unstable, or we are operating at a low temperature, we can expect these amines would be forming by SN2 mechanism. So this would come through SN2, otherwise by E2 usually we'll get alkenes. Second, if you take acids, react that with hydrozoic acid, we have seen that this H2O will be leaving, N3 minus will attack here, we would get RC double bond O N3, and we have seen that RC double bond O N3 would exist this way, RC double bond O N minus N triple bond N plus. So this is a Wolff's rearrangement. So R minus will attack here, this pi will become double bond here, and it will leave as N2. So Wolff rearrangement will give us isocyanate formation, and isocyanate on hydrolysis will give us amines and carbon dioxide. So that's how we can get the primary amines forming from acids. R C double bond O NH2 Br2 KOH, it will give RNH2. This is the Hofmann bromamide degradation. We have learned this already, and this would also become the reaction for preparation of primary amines. Now the next set of reaction is ammonolysis. This is very important. You have come across this in alkyl halides, so try to revise this once again here. See, if any alkyl halide, if you treat that with NH3, here we usually take either 1 degree or 2 degree, preferably 1 degree or methyl, write it as CH3 also, methyl, because it is an SN2 type of reaction, SN2 mechanism. So nitrogen nucleophile will attack, Cl minus will leave. So first we have R CH2 NH2, and this H plus and Cl minus will come out as HCl. Got it? Now if you have further amount of alkyl halide, the reaction will again take place. So this lone pair will again attack here, Cl will leave. So it will keep on happening till it becomes quaternary ammonium salt, right? So the reaction usually stops here. Now I can control this reaction either at primary, secondary by controlling the amount. For example, if I have this in excess, alkyl halide in excess, then ammonia will keep on attack. First primary will form secondary, then tertiary, and finally it will go up to quaternary ammonium salt. That would be major product. But if you take ammonia in excess, right, most of the ammonia will react with the alkyl halide, whatever that is present, and try to convert everything into primary amines. So primary amines would be major in that case. Okay. So you would be asked this way, one of them is taken excess, then what should be the product? Because this is clear. This is just a revision of what we have seen in alkyl halides, the ammonolysis reaction. Okay. Now coming to the next reaction, which is nitro reductions. This is new. Okay, so let's see how the nitro reductions are happening. First of all, if we take NO2 and directly convert into amine, we require a strong reducing agents. Okay, strong reducing agents like lithium aluminum hydride that can convert, H2 by PT, H2 by nickel, PT, palladium and platinum or palladium, platinum or nickel. Next, SN in HCl, tin in HCl, zinc in HCl, concentrated HCl, just write it as dash, yeah, and Fe in HCl. Got it? I can take tin chloride plus concentrated HCl. This can also be used. Similarly, zinc chloride plus concentrated HCl used, Lucas reagent. All of this will give, high concentration of nascent hydrogens. The way to remember is, imagine as if they can give enough amount of nascent hydrogens, so they will convert every nitro group into amine group here. Okay, now usually you see the oxidation state here, nitrogen is connected to double bond O here and O minus with a plus charge on it, and it is connected to some carbon. So from carbon, nitrogen will win an electron, so it will be -1 because of its electronegativity. It will lose 2 electrons towards oxygen here, lose 1 electrons towards oxygen here. Sorry, lose as in plus. Okay, so you can see it is +2. The total charge is +2, +1, -1, and also it has one charge on it. So total +3 charge. So always remember, when you have nitro group, alkyl nitro group, its oxidation state is +3. Now that is converting into NHH2. Okay, so from carbon it is going to be winning the electron as -1 because of its electronegativity. It is winning from all the cases. So now the oxidation state here is -3. Okay, so the number of electrons that might be transferred from NO2 to NH2 is 6 electrons. So this was asked 2-3 times in JEE mains, so better remember this, that nitrogen changing, nitro group with +3 oxidation state is changing to -3, and 6 electrons has been involved for reduction reaction here. Okay, now see this, the way to understand how primarily it is happening in aryl groups. In aryl groups it will be slightly different. How it is different, let's see that. Suppose if you have NO2, and imagine all these reagents are releasing nascent hydrogens. Okay, now first 2 nascent hydrogens will take away 1 oxygen and remove that as water. So from this nitro it has become nitroso. Okay, N double bond O has become. And again, if you add 2 more nascent hydrogens, 1 nascent hydrogen would be added here, 1 would be added here. So this will become hydroxylamine. Okay, so this will become hydroxylamine case first. Again, if you add 2 more, right, so 1 H2O would be removed from here, and this would also become NH2, right. So again, 1 more H2O is being removed. So can you see the journey from nitrogen with -3 oxidation state to +3 oxidation state to -3 oxidation state. Number of nascent hydrogens involved were 6. Again, this was also a JEE question, remember this. So you can see 2 nascent hydrogens here, 2 nascent hydrogens here, and 2 nascent hydrogens here. So that's how it has been giving us 6 nascent, 6 electrons equivalent to 6 nascent hydrogens. Out of these reagents, if you check out lithium and all of this, iron is referred more in the industry because iron first forms FeCl3. Let me show you that. FeCl3 is being formed, and if you take it in aqueous solution, FeCl3 in water again precipitates and releases HCl back. So you don't need large amount of HCl to be making this reaction. So small amount of HCl is sufficient to initiate the reaction. So FeCl2 plus water will give FeOH thrice. HCl is been forming, and the HCl which has released again react with iron to form FeCl3 and releases nascent hydrogens. Okay, so take 2 moles, 2 nascent hydrogens released. So this process will keep continuing. So to initiate we require some amount of HCl, that's all. So that's why iron is being more useful here, because this can form a precipitate of hydroxide. I guess you understood how the reduction is happening. Now, this case, whatever we have seen so far, these are the cases where we have taken strong reducing agents. Now, zinc's reducing nature can be varied based upon the type of solution we are taking. For instance, if at all I take zinc HCl in acidic condition, okay, so this is a strong reducing agent, so that would reduce NO2 completely to NH2. But in the case if I take zinc in NH4Cl and neutral, here the amount of nascent hydrogens it will provide would be relatively less. So you will see the product ending at hydroxylamine. This will end up at hydroxylamine here. While if you take basic zinc NaOH in basic medium, then it would become this coupled product N double bond N. This is the product which is formed. This is hydrazobenzene. Okay, sorry, NH hydrazos, then NH and NH. So hydrazobenzene is formed here. Okay, so out of this you can see ZnHCl is a strong reducing agent that will convert NO2 to NH3. But neutral is moderate. Neutral is a moderate one, so that will convert NO2 up to NHOH here. Okay. So if you see generally how the reaction is taking place, correct? After the formation of NHOH, correct, which is what happening further in this reaction. After NHOH, in basic medium, it is further going to hydrazobenzene formation. Let's see how that happens here. Once you get hydrazobenzene, again if you react with the second mole of NO2, you can observe that here this OH, this H2O, basically this hydrogen here, this hydrogen, this hydrogen, this hydrogen, this oxygen, that will be leaving as H2O here. Got it? So we'll have this as imagine N with minus. Just imagine that way. Okay. So that H2O would be lost there. Got it? And we would have something like here N O here. Got it? So this is what has been formed. So this H and O will be lost as H2O. This nitrogen has one oxygen on it. This nitrogen has one double bond O on it. Okay. So from here, if you take out two more hydrogens here, so that will take away this oxygen, and we would get something like this. N. We have this N with double bond O. This oxygen has been lost. So when it is losing, it will get this negative charge on it, and that can be made as a double bond, and this will become O minus. I will get this. This N plus and O minus can be represented in this form, and this form is what we call it as the azobenzene. Okay. So this is the form which is azobenzene and with oxygen present on it. So oxyazobenzene. We will get this as oxyazobenzene. That when you react with further nascent hydrogens, this oxygen will also be lost and you will get pH N double bond N pH. Right? So complete azobenzene is formed here. Azobenzene. Please understand, none of this mechanism is there for your syllabus. Okay. I just want you to understand one thing. It is a journey of nascent hydrogens by which from hydroxylamine we go through that, we will get this, and finally we will end up at azobenzene. Okay, so that is what exactly happening in the case of this also. Once you get azobenzene, you add two more nascent hydrogens. Then you will get this one hydroazobenzene will come. NH will come here, so that will become hydroazobenzene. In short, what you need to remember, okay, let me focus on that first. Check. So from NO2, this is what you better need to remember. From NO2 we'll get NHOH. From NHOH, then it will convert to N double bond OO, and then N double bond N, and finally NH and NH. See the oxidation state, how it is changing. Here it was +3, and if you check the oxidation state here, it is +1. and if you take the average of these two here, right, that is 0, and oxidation state here, the average for that is -1, and oxidation state here is -2 average for one nitrogen I'm saying. So it is starting from 2 electron, it is adding one more electron here, from 0 to -1 means it is adding one more electron here, it is adding one more electron here. So from nitro group, if I take 2 moles, where does it end up? Suppose if it is coming to this point, 2 plus 1 plus 1, 4 electrons are used. If it is coming to this, 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, total 5 electrons are coming to that. Let me show you with products. Okay, generally we just learned that if I take RNO2 with lithium aluminum hydride, we will get RNH2 straight away because it is a good reducing agent. Okay, it's a powerful reducing agent. But in case of aryl groups, it will form this coupled product. So we will get this as N, double bond N, and this. No mechanisms needed for these questions. You just need to know their oxidation states, how many electrons are involved. That's all. The product is azobenzene, and number of electrons involved. Check out from here. We had +3. Now on an average you are getting it as -1. Okay, that is for one nitrogen. If at all I have two nitrogens, so it will be +2 and +2, so total 4 electrons. So everyone check out, from +3 it is changing towards this -1 here, right? So total how many electrons are involved? 4 electrons are involved in this. Okay. Next, NO2 in the presence of Na3SO3. Okay, sodium arsenate, that would give us this pH N, double bond N with O and pH. Okay, this is azobenzene. So from here you can see from +3 it is changing to 0, so which means how many electrons are involved here for reduction? 3 electrons. Correct. If it was for benzene, if it was for zinc, check out from here to here how many it has been changed, because eventually you have to come to this point, no? So it has 5 electrons. So here 5 electrons were involved. So practice this. What are the products you should get? Zinc HCl, it's a straight question. I mean, it's a normal reduction. These are all the special cases. Zinc in NH4Cl or zinc in NaOH, what you will get. Next, this lithium aluminum hydride, sodium arsenate, all of this would give different products, so check out. Okay, everyone, please go through that once again. Now, next one is a very special case where you have very selective reduction. Every time we have any sulfide S2 bonds, that S2 minus can be connected with sodium or sodium ammonium, got it? Any of that, for instance, like this. It could be Na2S, could be ammonium sulfide, ammonium bisulfide, Na2S2 also, right, where you have SS connection, or NH4 twice S2 also, NaH, sodium bisulfide, H2S also. Anything which has S2 minus, okay, which can be released as S2 minus, it will give a selective reduction, you know, on the meta positioned NO2. If ortho and para is given, no reaction is being seen. Like if the question is given like this, NO2 and NO2, no reaction. Okay, same way if you have NO2 and NO2, no reaction here. But if they are meta to each other, then it has been seen selectively it will reduce, and only one part of it will get reduced to NH2, the other part will become NO2. Okay, and rest sulfur will get reduced as S2 minus will get oxidized as S. Okay, colloidal sulfur. Is this clear? And usually we take it in aqueous solution so that we can have that protons, and only one of NO2 must be reduced. Remember that, not both of them. So this is the selective reduction. No mechanisms needed. Okay, only direct selective reduction should be understood, which have to be done. Okay, now in case if there is a very strong donating group here like NH2, okay, smaller groups like NH2, then they would reduce at the ortho position, not at this para position. See, both NO2 must be meta to each other. That is an important condition. But on top of that, if you have any NH2 group attached, right? So that would make the reduction only here. So we'll get NH2 there. But if you have even slightly bulkier group which are donating, withdrawing will never give the reaction. Understand that. Like if you have another NO2 or COH, no reaction there. Only donating groups will give the reaction. Out of which NH2 and CH3, if you compare, right, NH2 will be strongly donating and it does not have a problem with the crowding. So NO2 will be reduced here at NH3. CH3 on the other hand will have a problem with crowding. So we will have CH3, NO2 and NH2 will be formed here. Okay. So these are the reactions only to remember. Do not get into any details of the mechanism here. Okay. And only two types have been there for your course, NH2 and CH3. Either no donating groups, or if the donating groups are given, NH2, okay, one more group is there. In case if you have NHR, like any R group is present like this, then it will be reduced at para position. Okay, if you have two R groups, NR2, NO2, then also it will reduce at para position. So these are some donating groups which you will see. If it is methyl, then you will see it anyway at para position. I hope you guys can remember that. Right. So these three are selective reduction reactions. Directly you would be asked about which part to be reduced, and further it will be connected with diazonium salts. Okay. Everybody got this preparation reactions?